And welcome everybody here. We are live at Quebedeaux Cajun Cafe here in Pineville. This is the Reservation Roundup. I am Billy French, your voice of your Tioga Indians. Sitting alongside me, as always, head coach of your Tioga Indians, Coach Kevin Cook. And Coach Cook, this is a huge, huge week for Tioga. And we're going to go over a lot of stuff from last week and this week. But just a little bit, tell me about the surrounding, the excitement going about the Tioga community right now with these Indians and a big matchup that's coming up Friday night.
Well, everybody's excited. I mean, but one of the things that I'm really most grateful for is it's an expectation. You know, it has to become an expectation at some point. And so that's one of the things that, you know, the guys from 15 and 16 and 17 and 18 and 19 and 20, all those other years, you know, it's the foundation that they've laid. It's the house they built. We're all living in it now. And I'm very proud of that. I think, you know, I feel extremely blessed to be, you know, 4-0. I don't want to say that I'm not, because you never know, you know, when you're not going to be. You could easily be 0-4.
Right.
And I thank the Lord that we're 4-0, and I thank the Lord that it's the expectation to be 4-0, and we're meeting the expectation. So the community is happy. Everybody's excited. You know, we're gonna. You know, I think that the voting speaks for itself. You know, they voted yes for the bond issue, and so we're going to be spending a lot of money and a lot of money towards football over the next few years. And so I think that you know, people have proven their feelings about football at Tioga High School. So
yeah, it's very nice to have that much backing from the community as Tioga has. And,
absolutely.
So, you know, again, this is going to be every Thursday night here live at Quebedeaux. It's going to be the Kevin Cook. This is Reservation Roundup. Games, the upcoming games every week here. And now there are a couple of games that we will have on Thursday nights. We'll adjust the coach's show to that. I know next week we go to Pine Prairie on a Thursday night game, so we'll adjust to that accordingly, but we'll give you plenty of time to let you know what we're going to do. Again, Friday night at the Reservation, we're going to be hosting Jena, battle of two 4-0 teams. But before we get our mindset onto Jena on the show, now I'm sure Coach has already got the mindset on Jena all week, but we're going to kind of highlight a little bit what happened last week. We went into Marksville, Coach. Both of us 3-0. Marksville coming off of 3 wins, no losses. Kind of a resurgent in that program, the Tigers. And we talked about it on the show last week. Kind of a two-headed monster from Marksville. And we expected it. I imagine that, you know, I know y'all put the work in. And then, of course, injury bug hits that Marksville team, and it kind of derails a lot of what they had going on.
It did, and I hate to see young people get hurt playing football. You know, I never want our kids to get hurt. I really don't want the other you know, teams' players to get hurt. They did suffer an injury to, you know, the state's 15th leading rusher in all classifications, and that makes an impact. There's no question about that. But you know, I feel like our kids, you know, we're going to rise to the challenge. I still, you know, take us in that game, healthy or unhealthy.
Yes, sir.
And I think that, you know, obviously the kid who came in did a good job for Marksville, you know, for what they could do. But I'm really excited for them and their program, you know, to be 1-9 and then to be all of a sudden, then 1 year later you get a new coach and all of a sudden you're 3-0. And I think everybody over there's got to be excited about the future of their program and the direction that, you know, Coach Harper's taking them. And I've been down that road. It's a fun ride.
Yeah.
So.
And very young coaching staff. Of course, I talked to a bunch of them before the game as well. They're not only are the community excited, not only the players are excited, but these coaches are excited, and it's kind of given a revival for that Marksville. Because, you know, back in the day, Marksville was a pretty good squad, you know, with the Lavallées and all that. A lot of NFL player, you know, and so it's nice to see that. Of course, Tioga, you know, we get the ball, we go down there, and we do what we've done pretty much every game this year, methodically run the ball with Travis Adams, gets down there, scores on about a 21-yarder, and then, again, as it's almost like it's expected now, which is crazy. They drop back to throw. Jacorian Norris right there seems to be always in the right spot at the right time, runs it back for a touchdown. And then, of course, we had a 9-yard pass, which is more of the little flick, but it is considered a pass. Is that correct? Yeah.
It's considered a pass. That way, if you drop it, it's not a fumble.
That's right. I like that. That's coach talk right there. So Josh Lloyd had one of those, and then, of course, another rushing touchdown by Travis Adams. Case with the quarterback keeper, he gets one. And then, of course, Josh Lloyd from Case Malone will round out, and that was just in the first half. Of course, and so the 42 to nothing, we have the clock running in the second half. And then you bring in your second and your third, some of your younger guys, and that's when Marksville Pryor, and he had 2 carries, one for 98, I believe, and one for 93.
Yep.
And that's the 2 scores that Tioga give up. So now I know Coach Mutter wanted a shutout, and that's the defensive side in him, but I know he tries to get these young guys in and try to make some plays and get some better, some experience.
Well, I've always said this: nobody knows what the score was a couple years from now.
That's right.
And the reality is the other kids need the experience. And it doesn't. If they scored a couple touchdowns on someone else, we still chalk it up as a shutout for our purposes. Because the game is being conceded, the clock's running. So we still deem it as a shutout. I'm happy for Marksville. It was a great coaching point for our kids because they got chewed on a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And then they got chewed on again a little bit, and then they got better.
Yeah.
So third time's a charm maybe, but they needed that. Both teams needed exactly what happened there in that second half, and it was a physical first half, and so it was good to be able to pull off a little bit there in the second half because you know what's coming in week 5, and it's going to be brutally physical.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Of course, a big Jena matchup, but Case Malone didn't have to do a whole lot through the air, but he was 7 for 13 for 87 yards, 2 touchdowns. Travis Adams, again, 6 carries, 73 yards, 2 touchdowns. Love seeing Kanan Medish in there. Kanan does every time he's in there, he does something really, really good. 3 carries, 32 yards. Corbin Zito got to carry the ball a little bit. 3 carries, 15 yards. Kewan Kyle, we got to see Kewan in there. He did a great job.
Yeah,
2 carries, 14 yards. And I love seeing him come in the second half and kind of take over at the quarterback position and try to learn as much as he can while he can.
Look, he competes. He's not really enlisted as a quarterback, if you will.
Right.
Got kind of shoved in there due to some injuries, and we just said, well, who's the next best athlete who's smart enough to do this? And Kyle Kewan. So he's done a really good job, to be honest with you. It's been I hate to say shocking.
Yeah. Well, when someone don't play a quarterback.
Well, when somebody doesn't play quarterback, you'd be like, we're just like, wow, this guy can do this.
Yeah.
And he can do it pretty well, actually. He's got a strange throwing motion, but it gets to where it's supposed to be. And
I noticed that on the throw, yeah.
This is a pleasant surprise. But and he understands it, and he runs the ball well, from the quarterback position also. And so we're very pleased with him.
Yeah, and of course, on the receiving side, Josh Lloyd had 3 receptions, 30 yards, 2 touchdowns. Zakorian had 2 catches for 45 yards, and Riccardi had 2 catches for 12 yards. On the defensive side, man, there were some hard hits. We called Caleb Anderson's name quite a bit. I don't want to leave anybody out, but Jaden Padgett's name went a whole bunch. Adams, I mean, the whole crew, that D-line with Brody Goodo, the entire defensive line, they seem to always make these big hits, but there's 2 players that kind of stick out a lot on the, and that's Caleb Andrus, champion, that, I mean, because Gunner's going to do everything. Gunner's phenomenal, he's going to make his plays, but it seems like when Champion and Caleb Andrus hit somebody, you can hear it upstairs, and it just rejuvenates me as a former football player how much I love that they love to make contact.
Well, they do. It's not something I'd want to experience, to be honest with you. I'm too old for that, I'm not Tom Brady. I can't take a shot like that in my late 40s.
Right.
But, I mean, look, they're good athletes. What I like about both of those guys in particular, they're good kids.
Yes.
Good kids, and Champion's come a long way. He's just a sophomore, but he's already come a long way just this year, and the future is very bright for him. And then, Caleb, just a junior, and he's done a phenomenal job so far. And we expect a lot out of him, and we expect a lot, in the next year to come. So
that's good. Absolutely a good. Like I said, Tioga and Marksville coming into this ball game, both 3-0, had a lot of hype for this Marksville game. It was exciting, but we knew what we needed to do and stop that run game, and we were able to really do that. Our defensive line, and a lot of times, they don't get the full credit, but that first half, it was a battle for Marksville to get any yardage on the way our defensive front played. Yeah,
our defensive front played really lights out football. Real proud of those guys. Big Brody there in the middle. He's our he's kind of our anchor right there, and really our largest player. And but he's come so far as a person, and he is doing a great job for himself and his body, and we're so proud of that guy. Just to be honest with you, he's kind of one of those inside stories that really we're the only people that know about. We're super proud of him, though.
Of course, I've known Brody for years as well. I used to give him baseball lessons when he was a little bitty. Yeah, well, he's never really little bitty, but when he was a younger guy, his parents, of course, are awesome people as well. And
yes,
I love the fact that he came. He's kind of being one of the leaders on that lineman, and that goes well to your decision to hire a really good-looking young man by the name of Jalen Ivey to coach your defensive lineman, and it seems to be paying off dividends for the Tioga Indians team.
Jalen's done a great job. Him and Coach Thompson do the D-line together,
right.
And they both are ex-players of mine.
Yep.
And every day when I look at them, it just brings a smile to my face. I love all of our coaches. Obviously, have a long-standing relationship with many of our coaches. I've coached probably longer with Coach Crispin than any coach I've ever been with in my life. And, I've known JL for many years since I first got into the area. We've worked together at 2 different schools, and just, I got a history with everybody there. But those two guys, when you get to work with one of your ex-players, it is the most special feeling from a football coaching standpoint I could describe. So
kind of like comes full circle there for you.
And I find it hard because a lot of times it's difficult for me. I'll call them Jalen or Hunter, but they're Coach Jalen and they're Coach Thompson now, and it's just kind of funny because I'll catch myself and I think, man, maybe I shouldn't have said it like that, But
yeah, well, I'm sure that it's probably a little funny for them too.
It probably is.
Call at least for Jalen for sure. But again, big win. This 42-15 over Marksville this week. So Tioga moves to 4-0, and Marksville goes to 3-1. And one of the little things back on the Marksville side, not only did the starting quarterback, who is also their running back, gets hurt on the third play of the game, but a couple plays later, the offensive lineman, and that was their stud offensive lineman, breaks his tibia.
I know.
And it's horrible, and it's demoralizing for a really good, really fun team to watch, and that's that little Marksville Tigers team. But hopefully with the prayers to that young man that he can get back healthy and go on to the next level and play there. So we're going to take a break here, and then we're going to come back and shift gears, and we're going to talk to some linebackers. We're going to talk to Coach Mooter here in a little while as well. He's in the building. But this is going to be every Thursday night at 7 p.m., the Reservation Roundup with Coach Kevin Cook. I am Billy French. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
Is your vision just not as crisp and clear as it used to be? Are you having difficulty driving, especially at night? Are you over 40 and now needing reading glasses? If so, the trusted eye care team at Wallace Eye Associates is here to help with your family's eye care needs, just like we have been for nearly 40 years. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
I'm Jason Hall with Farm Bureau Insurance. Did you know that September is Life Insurance Awareness Month? Our team is here to educate about life insurance and help you make the right coverage choices with the right agent this month and every month. Taking care of your family can be simple and something you can do today. There's no better time than now to learn how life insurance can protect your family's financial security. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect what matters most.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Reservation Roundup here live at Quebedeaux's Cajun Cafe in Pineville, Louisiana. I am Billy Fritz, your voice of Tioga Indians. We got the defensive coordinator, Coach John Mooter, here with us tonight. He's going to talk, brought a few linebackers with us. We're going to talk to the guys as well. And Coach Mooter, it's a big, big game coming up this weekend, of course. I'm sure you remember as well as I do last year, us going to Jena and not really playing our best game and them getting to. So I'm sure there's a little bit of kind of a revenge factor going, maybe a little. And tell us about what excitement you got going on looking at stopping that big, because they're a running ball club over there at Jena.
Yeah, they're a good football team. This week is the next week. It's the next game for us. Our kids have played loose all year, and they've executed what we've asked them to do, and that's what we're going to do again this week.
Yeah, well, no doubt. You've got the defense playing fantastic, which especially with the turnovers that were. It seems like I was talking to Coach Cook a little while ago. Seems like it's almost expected to have a pick six every ball game, and we know football people know that don't happen that often. You know, it just happened a lot for Tioga. And last week, of course, you know, we knew we needed to stop that Marksville two-headed monster. Of course, the injury comes in right in the third play of the game, and their quarterback's getting pulled. And your first team defense just comes in there and pushes does a shutout that entire first half. And I know that you had them prepared and all that, but tell us, was there any highlights that you saw, some of your guys that maybe stepped up that you didn't expect, or someone that you did expect just played their lights out?
No, they all played very well. We have good players. That's the answer for all those turnovers and all those interceptions. We got good football players, and they're playing fast. They make those plays by themselves, believe it or not. We don't tell them to go do it; they go do it themselves. And they're all great kids. We have really good kids at Tioga High School and Tioga football, and it's important to them. And the level of how they compete is the difference between them and a lot of other people that I see in this area. They play extremely hard. They play for each other, and then good things happen out of that whenever you give that kind of effort.
Well, you got a lot of senior leaders, and of course Gunner's here, and we'll talk to him here in a little while as well. But you got Gunner, you got Ja'Cory, and you got a lot of these guys that, and I'm sure it's a good thing as a coach that you have that kind of skilled players that can make plays that like you said, they do it on themselves. And it allows you to play call a little bit more freedom. Is that correct? You're able to open up the play maybe a little bit more because you know that you trust your key players to make the plays when they need to make those plays.
Yeah, it can go both ways. You can the better they are, the simpler you can be, which the less they're thinking, the faster they're playing.
Right.
And then the flip side of that is whenever you can change it up from a basic look and go into something more exotic and then them execute it at a high level, good things happen.
Good deal. Well, you brought a couple of your linebackers. If you would, introduce who you brought here tonight.
Yeah, over here to my right over here, this is Gunnar Delaney. He's our strong side outside linebacker, senior. This is Corbin Zito over here. He's played star for us, another senior. These guys have played a lot of football for us in the last 2 years. Over to my left over here, this is Caleb Andrews. He's our wheel backer, great player, but he's a great leader. And and all these guys are dedicated to what we're doing, and they're dedicated to what they do, and every day they get better. and that's all you can ask as a coach.
Absolutely. Well, we'll start with the seniors on this, and we'll finish up with Mr. Caleb here in a little bit. But Gunner, seems like we call your name quite a little, and you don't get a lot of credit because you're in the trenches a lot of times. I mean, technically he's a linebacker, but he's at the line of scrimmage a lot of times as well, right, Coach?
Yeah, he's a hybrid player. You know, we'll put him down. He can blitz. He can play great technique. He's a strong kid. You know, he wins up front. We win up front. That's what I tell him every week. So, you know, that's the way we go.
That's it. And Gunner, how exciting was it, man? Y'all get in there. You knew what to expect in Marksville. They were going to run the ball a whole lot, and you guys just shut them out. So tell me, as one of those senior leaders on this team, what kind of mindset did y'all have going into that game against the 3-0 Marksville Tigers?
Well, I mean, it's as if we're going against any other team. We don't know what they're going to come out in, you know, so we try our best every game, no matter who it is. We give it our all. That's just what we've known to do. It's what we always will do.
Well, that just goes. See, that's senior smarts right there, because you know that you might study all week for something, and chances are you might not see that on Friday night. So.
Yeah, a lot of something that's discounted is the fact that, you know, as a coaching staff and as players, we plan for the other team's offense. And, you know, 2 weeks ago, Pineville had a secret offense for us, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
And it's a credit to these guys being fundamentally sound. They don't have to gimmick people to stop them.
Right.
You know, they can line up and play football, and you know, I love those guys and love their dedication.
Well, Corbin, we're going to pass it down to Corbin. It's good to see him back. Of course, you know, we didn't see a whole lot of him. Was it the first game of the year? But then, of course, second, it's always you're out everywhere. Got to even carry the ball a little bit last week. I saw that. I was shocked. I was excited because you did such a great job last year filling in when you needed to. But let me ask you, of course, now I know your defensive coach is here right now. Do you prefer offense or defense?
I love them both.
That's right. That's the political correct, right? That's the good. You taught him well, Coach.
No, he's right. He's got great vision. He's a great back.
Yes, he is.
And then, you know, defensive wise, you know, he knows how to leverage himself, put himself in the right spot.
Exactly. Well, Corbin, tell me how excited you are about getting to get a little revenge, because you were in that game last year as well when Jena beat us last year for our first loss. So tell me a little bit of excitement that you have going back and try to get a little redemption on that.
I'm just ready. I want to beat them. I mean, we had to watch some fireworks last year. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't fun.
Long bus ride home from Jena High School last year. Well, we're going to shift gears over to Caleb. And Caleb, man, I've said your name quite a few times on the show. I don't know if you ever got a chance to go back and listen to it, but it seems like when you hit someone, we can hear it up in the press box, buddy. Do you enjoy hitting people?
I love it.
It's got to have a passion, and all you guys do that. I know that's got to be a big feeling. You're not supposed to, when you hit somebody, you're not supposed to stand over them and do all that. But I know it feels good when you really lay a lick on someone and you hear the crowd roar behind you. That's got to be a pretty awesome feeling.
It feels amazing. It's a great feeling. That's the reason I play football.
That's it. Yeah, put that mic just a little bit closer. But Taylor, you know, this is what year for you in? You're a junior coming. You're a junior, and you played last year.
Yes, sir.
Now, so you were at the Jena game. So you remember that, right?
No, last year I played at Ash. This is my first year here at Tioga.
Oh, at Tioga. That's right. That's right. Okay. So again, you coming in, you haven't got the rivalry and all that stuff quite yet, but you're figuring it out pretty quick.
Oh, yes, sir.
And you're making a name pretty fast as well.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's it. Tell me what some of the stuff that you enjoy learning from Coach Mooter and you know, a lot of the coaches at Tioga.
From Coach Mooter, he just giving me a different way to look at the game of football. Not just being focusing on one thing, being able to read the whole field and being able to see what's coming next by reading the down markers, like what down it is, like what position they're at on the field, and just being able to get that insight from him has been a big help to me this season.
Well, let me ask you, Gunner, I know y'all watched some tape, and they got some pretty big fellas on that Jena team. That's probably going to be one of the bigger offensive linemen we see. Maybe when we get to Neville, we might see something similar to that. But this should be your biggest test with size-wise. Is that something that you work on? Because I know that you're strong and you're fast, so you're going to have to use that in order to get around them. Tell me a little bit on what some game plans on what you do, or you know, something that you've been working on trying to get them without giving anything away by it.
Yeah, well, I got to give big thanks to Coach Ivy. He's really helped me on my technique this year, and you know, the moves that he taught me, I think they'll work real well against Jena. I'm gonna use them tomorrow night.
Well, they worked against Grambling. They worked
Yeah.
against a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of plays. So that's awesome. I appreciate it. You make me get happy over here. But so Coach Mooter, of course, you've got such a great core that you've got here, and I know that you enjoy it. I enjoy in the press. I love home games, and not so much because it's just a comfort factor. I love listening to you. You're in the box, of course, next door to us, and we get to hear you.
That door's closed, right?
But we still hear you. And we love the excitement that you bring to the game, because I know that feeds into these guys. And of course, like Coach goes, is how your players are going to play. If you're quiet and reserved and all that, your defense might not be as exciting as it, but you put everything you have into everything you do, and we appreciate it. And what year is this for you coaching? I know not Tioga. I know this is for you.
So this is 19 for me. 5 at Tioga, and it's been the fastest 5 years I've had anywhere.
Yeah.
Because it's been enjoyable. And look, I want to say something real quick. We practice with these kids all week long. And then they see me every day. They see me in every endo drill. They see me in every snap of team and practice. But they don't see me on Friday. And that's because they're accountable to each other. They still play very well. They don't have to have me there holding their hand on the sideline. And I've got great coaches down there in Trip Prestridge and Hunter Thompson and Jalen Ivey that do a great job of keeping us on the same page. And those guys, we wouldn't be anywhere without that whole coaching staff.
Yeah, well, I understand. Yeah, you're the coordinator, of course. You're the defensive coordinator, and you have the guys that do. But it stops from the top. We appreciate you, and we know that you're a humble guy, and we loved you. Ever since you came over to Tioga, that defense has been ferocious, and it goes off of you. And I know that it's your job to say, well, it's only as good as the guys that that I bring in here that help as well. And you just this year, we should have. Like Coach Cook said, it wasn't in our books. It was a shutout against Marksville. When you brought your third team in there and they scored those 2 touchdowns. But you open up the season with a shutout against Bolton. You shut out Pineville, and then you turn around and you do this again with Marksville. It's got to be exciting to have the defense firing on all cylinders, especially coming into where it's fixing to get really tough.
Yeah, we're just trying to get better every week. We're still making some mistakes, but we haven't been surprised. We have a great mental aspect to the game as a football team, as a football defense. And, they're not surprised or shocked by anything that they see. One of the best things that's a best compliment to yourself as a defense and as a defensive player is when the team that you've been practicing for all week comes out and they run some completely different, because they know whatever they're doing ain't going to work. And so that's a testament to them and how fast they play and how hard they play.
We appreciate all that you've done here at Tioga, and I know that we're expecting a big game here Friday night. It's going to be packed at the reservation. They've got some pregame festivities going on Friday night as well, and I imagine the house is going to be pretty much packed here. So this is Coach Mooter, of course, Caleb Andrus, Gunnar Delaney, and Corbin Zito is here. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back here into the third segment. We're going to highlight a little bit, talk about what to expect from the Jena Giants as we host them Friday night. So we're going to take a quick break here. We are live at Quebedeaux here in Pineville, and we'll be right back.
Time for our red, white, and cool summer event at Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Right now, you can save on a new energy saving system. No money down, 0% interest, and no payments till June 2024. Call Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing or visit us online.
BK Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family for all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors, apparel and promotions in Pineville.
For a lifetime of the best possible vision, look to Wallace Eye Associates, where our tradition of eye care excellence in Cenla spans nearly 40 years. From your next family eye exam to cataract and glaucoma evaluations, trust your vision to the experienced eye professionals at Wallace Eye Associates. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
Appliance Parts Company in Alexandria has all your major appliance parts needs. We sell parts to all major appliances as well as new appliances, including window units, chest, and upright freezers. Appliance Parts originally opened its doors on Lee Street in 1972, and we're now open at a new location on Memorial Drive to serve you better. Stop by, say hey to our crew, and check out our awesome holiday gifts. Appliance Parts, 2208 Memorial Drive in Alexandria next to Target. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday from 9 till 12.
Everybody dancing all night long. Everybody dancing all night long. Everybody dancing all night long. Somebody's dancing to my song.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Reservation Roundup with Coach Kevin Cook of your Tioga Indians. We are live at Quebedeaux's Cajun Cafe. We're going to be here every Thursday night at 7 p.m. I didn't mention earlier, if you come in for the game, make sure you wear your Tioga gear. They're going to give you a special little menu that you get, and it's a whole lot cheaper than what I'm telling you, you can't get any food cheaper than what you're going to get it here. So come out, support your Tioga Indians, and pack the house, which we've got a pretty good crowd here tonight already, Coach. And it's what we wanted, of course. You know, that was when we talked to them about coming over here. We wanted somewhere that everybody can enjoy and get, and not have to spend a whole lot of money. And that's why they did that special menu for us, and it's fantastic. I know I see your family over there tearing it up as well. Mine just ate and left. They were done looking at me, I guess, going. But we're going to shift gears a little bit, Coach. We're going to shift over to the Jena Giants. They're coming in a 4-0, same as us, battle of the unbeaten again. This is going to be the KLB TV game of the week again. That's I believe, our third one in a row.
I think so.
Which is fantastic. That bodes well for when you're playing well. And we've skillfully come in there and won the first two. We're going to try to make it again. But the Jena team coming in, and they opened the season against Mangum, beat them 34-12. They beat a very good Leesville team, 22-20, and we know how good Leesville is, and Coach Causey. Then they go to St. Fred's and Monroe and beat them, and then last week they beat Winfield 32-20. So that big, the key signature win for that Jena Giants team is that Leesville win, and we know how well that team is coached, and we know how well that Jena team is with Coach Roark.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they always seem to show up when they need to show up, and they would probably say the same thing about you, how they're well coached from top to bottom every single year.
I don't know exactly what Coach Roark's record over there is. I want to say that his first year as a head coach there was my first year as head coach at Buckeye. I think we kind of got our head coaching start the same year, but I know his record has to be tremendous. Over the past dozen years or so, I know he's had at least one 10-0 season, and if we don't beat them this Friday, they're going to be 10-0 again. I mean, I looked at their schedule the other day, and I said, well, this is their last chance to lose a game.
Yeah.
And I'm not being disrespectful to anybody else on their schedule. And, we all know that we got to kick the ball off and play the game for a reason. But the reality is they're going to be the heavy favorite, on the back half of the season. And that adds a little something to the game. It adds a little something where that they're going to pull all the stops out. So, but they're just as well coached as they've ever been. Their players are in great shape. Their players are athletic and they're well disciplined.
Right, and they got the return in their quarterback, Mr. Zach Barker. who played tight end a few years ago, then swapped over last year to play quarterback. So this is his second year at the quarterback position. And you know as well as I do, just a little bit of veteran leadership in the quarterback position is so crucial for a team. Of course, they got a stable of running backs as well, led by Zarek Jones, the senior, and he's going to be the guy carrying most of the load. Got Braden Oates and Zarek Hunter is the wide receivers. And then when you get to the offensive line, they've got one offensive lineman, Hunter Jackson. He's 6'1", 320.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a hoss. He is a big boy. And then Aiden Palmer, 6'1", 315. So they got two offensive linemen that are over 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And, you know, our biggest offensive lineman, I mean, you would know better than I do, maybe 230, 240?
Oh, no, we got some guys a little heavier than that, but we're not breaking the 300 mark.
Right.
And so they are. I mean, they're the same as they always are, though. It's not abnormal. This is the same Jena team that we've seen. You know, I don't know how many times I've coached against Coach Rohark, but it's at least 8, 6 or so at Tioga and a couple at Buckeye, and they look the same like they always do.
Yeah,
you know?
big in stature, but
big linemen, very athletic, skilled people. That's their formula, and it's worked well for them.
Absolutely, but you know, with our Tioga defensive line, you know what they have is that they're super strong and they're super fast.
Yeah.
Our linemen, I've said it all season long how impressed I am with how quick they are off of the ball, and it's going to be a handful for anybody to try to stop the and of course you heard Gunner earlier saying about how he was taught over the summer from Coach Ivy some new moves to get around these bigger fellas, and you know, whether you're big or not, when you've got the right hand movements, and you know that's why they're there. It's gonna wreak some havoc for that running team, game for Jena.
It can, but you know you've got to try to put those big tackles of theirs in space where there's nobody over them. You know what they want to do is get their big man paws on you, and you know there's some ways to manipulate things where there's nobody there,
right?
And you know there's nobody over them. Well, you know they're not. They if they get their big paws on you, it's going to be a serious problem. But if you can run around them, you can do. There's nobody there for them. Well, they're, you know, it is not a great thing when you weigh 314 and maybe you're not as agile as you should be. So there's some things and some ways to manipulate around big people, but it's going to be a great ball game. It's always a great ball game. You know they've gotten the best of us the last 2 years. And we're looking to be sure they don't get 3.
That's it. And I was going to say last year, of course, Tioga goes into Jena. Jena comes out and beats us 22-6, and it's kind of been unexpected, of course, from the outside looking in. I want to say they were either winless going in there, but only won 1 or 2 games going into that matchup, and it was. I mean, they put it to us pretty good.
Well, you know, in talking to him last year, I remember, you know, he said, "Look, Coach, we're 0-4, but we're really a few plays away from being 3-1."
Right.
And he said we really feel like we should be 3-1, and but you know we just didn't make those couple plays. Well, this year they made those few plays, and they're 4-0, and they're rolling. Like I said, they've got a shot at a perfect season, and we want to be sure that we've got to give them our best shot to be sure that doesn't happen.
Well, if you can kind of go into it, you've seen some film already. I've done a little research trying to figure it out, but it seems like that they're going to be more of a run-oriented offense as well.
Well, they're a veer team, you know. That's what they've been the past few years. Look, it's a great formula. The formula hasn't changed, and I wouldn't change it either.
Right.
So it is going to be run heavy. That's what those teams do, you know. And so at the end of the night, though, all football still comes down to the box. At the end of the day, it all still comes down to the box. I don't care if you got a great quarterback. It doesn't make any difference if you can't protect him.
Right.
Because you can smother down, you know, and there's a lot of things you can do there. But the reality is it's always been since the beginning of football, one up front, and that's where it'll be Friday night, just like it is every single Friday. It'll be, you know, you just have Fridays where it's a little bit more. So, and this is one of those because they're proud of their linemen, and they have a lot of great linemen. They only lost one senior. They lost their center last year, and everybody came back.
Right.
So you're not going to trick them.
Right.
You're not going to fool them. You just got to get in there and play with them, and you know, hopefully you can get them behind the chains on something.
Yeah.
Whether it be a tackle for a loss, maybe a little penalty, get them behind the chains, and then try to get them off the field. I think that's the goal.
Well, we've been able to do that pretty much all season long. We've been able to stop them on first and second down, force them into throwing, some of the other opponents, and then that's where that secondary comes in, and that's what the turnover battle has been phenomenal on our end.
Mm-hmm.
We're winning the turnover battle every week, and
Well, we were talking about that this week. I'm trying to remember a clip where they lost the football, and I don't think there is one. I don't know that they've had a turnover in 4 games.
Wow.
Which is amazing. And if they have, it's been so few that we didn't even see them. They weren't even enough, I guess, to stick out in your mind. But, that will be a big deal Friday. In a close ball game like this, it's the mistakes. He who makes the least mistakes wins almost all the time.
Yep.
And that mistake could be on special teams. They're big on trick plays. They're big on trick plays on special teams. They've always done
fake
that.
punts. Yeah, I remember a fake punt a few years ago.
A couple of different fake punts. Yeah. And so, it won't be any different Friday, and they'll run some trick plays on offense, and they'll do some weird stuff on special teams. That's what they do.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it seems like we're prepared. Of course, it's what that's what we do all week long. You get these guys all amped up and ready to roll, and should be a packed house at the reservation Friday night. We were talking about there's some festivities going on pregame, so get out there, get ready. If you're coming to watch, which we want everybody in the stadium. I'll say it every week. Come to the game, buy the ticket, get up in the stands, pull your phone out and listen to the play-by-play as we're going. But we want you in the stadium. If you have family that live out of state or anything, make sure you let them know here on 446 Sports that they can watch the game and won't miss anything. And but if you're able to make the game, we want you at the game. We need to pack the house, which I believe that we're going to have not a problem. This should be a beautiful night of football.
I think so.
Weather-wise should be awesome. So that's exactly what we were wanting for. And on this KLB TV's game of the week again for the Tioga Indians. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our final timeout. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk a little bit of some football, but some junior high stuff, and we're going to kind of throw around a little bit. But this is the Reservation Roundup with Coach Kevin Cook of your Tioga Indians here live at Quebedeaux. We'll be right back.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
BK Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family. For all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors, Apparel and Promotions in Pineville.
I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. Did you know that September is Life Insurance Awareness Month? Our team is here to educate about life insurance and help you make the right coverage choices. With the right agent this month and every month, taking care of your family can be simple and something you can do today. There's no better time than now to learn how life insurance can protect your family's financial security. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect what matters most.
Time for our red, white, and cool summer event at Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Right now, you can save on a new energy saving system. No money down, 0% interest, and no payments till June 2024. Call Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing or visit us online.
Everybody dancing all night long. Everybody dancing all night long. Everybody dancing all night long. Somebody's dancing to my song.
Welcome back, everybody, here to the Reservation Roundup with Coach Kevin Cook of the Tioga Indians. We are live at Quebedeaux's Cajun Cafe here in Pineville. Every Thursday night, we're going to have this coach's show with Coach Cook, and we'll talk about last week's matchup this upcoming week here. And this is kind of a way for a community to come out and support your Tioga Indians, other than just on a Friday night. Quebedeaux does a great job here on giving us a little special menu for everybody to come in.
Sure do.
So, and the food is fantastic. And,
It is good, real good.
We got a packed house here tonight. We had already a bunch leave here, but we got a good amount of people here supporting your Tioga Indians. And, Coach, we talked about it a couple weeks ago here, but kind of give us a little rundown what's coming on Tioga's way here. We talk about it every season about how much the community really backs up Tioga and how much that they make, they want to make sure that you have everything you need to have the best program possible. We got some new stuff that's going to be coming in next year, and then something else 2 or 3 years from now. But kind of give us a little bit of rundown on what's going on here and good things that are happening in Tioga.
Well, to start with, when the season's over and we get soccer accomplished, probably, and we may even wait until track is completely finished. We'll be pulling the old turf out, putting new turf in, be a brand new design. We decided I told them from the get-go, I want a lot more red. I love red. Red's my favorite color anyways. I want a lot more red on the field. So we'll have that, and then we'll have before they install the turf, or maybe even simultaneous to that, we're going to have something really unique, and we're having a jumbotron installed, and it's going to offer instant replay. It's going to be, it's going to be the biggest one in this area. It's only high school one and bigger, and it'll be bigger than the local colleges. It's going to be a significant thing. And I think, it's not just about football. I've said this all along. We have community movie nights. It's going to be a lot of fun at graduation. Yeah. Which is the biggest event and the most important event on campus is graduation. Like, that's what we're here for. We're here to graduate people. Right. In academics, and so it's going to be awesome for that, for every parent and every family. But and the process has already gotten started for the new field house. It's going to be a beautiful 2-story field house down in the south end zone, which take a lot of work to put in. But the community has blessed us, with that. And it's not just about what we're receiving, because it really is a great effect on many people. So the new field house will enable, football to move out of where we are and come into a state-of-the-art facility. But it also is going to be a deal where now we can just hand the key over to the junior high at our field house because they need an upgrade. And so what will happen there is they will have the nicest field house of any junior high in the state of Louisiana. So not only will the high school have something amazing, the junior high will have the nicest junior high facility. Wow. You'd have to go to Texas to a lot of your bigger schools to find a nicer field house than what our junior high will have. And then what it does is it still allows for our Lady Indians to have a beautiful space of their own. And so really everybody is going to benefit from this. And the weight room will be larger, so we'll be able to, take care of more athletes. And it's going to have a unique feature in the top of glass all the way across the top in the back facing the field, along with a catering addition on the top floor. So one of I think the neatest features about it, and this was a personal request from me, I've seen some pictures of the original Tioga High School and the 4 pillars and the multi-stories and the archways. And, what I'm asking them to design is basically a replica of the original Tioga High School in the front, wrapped around in brick, and then the brick will fade, kind of like what Louisiana Tech has, where in the glass in the back. Wow. So, I want to bring some nostalgia, if you will, back to Tioga High School, pay tribute to those that have been here before us, and bring back some history to the reservation. I think it'll be a super unique feel of bringing it. It would be almost like updating an old car, like hot rodding an old car, where you see they put some new features on it, but it still has that classic feel. And that's what we want, along with the trophy case in the entryway, and we're going to try to add some more trophies to it.
Absolutely. And again, those of you, they're saying, wait, how's Tioga getting all this stuff? Well, this is all just about the community. The community supports Tioga. Of course, everybody around town, they love to say, that's that rich area. That's that rich area. No, that's the great loyalty that we have from our entire community. Wilton Barrios, of course, is just phenomenal.
He does an outstanding job.
Yes, he does. He makes sure that we're taken care of, and it's again, that bodes well to every sport that we have.
Well, what I tell people is this, because, recruiters come through, and obviously our facilities are second to nobody's in this area. And, man, you almost have a lot of rich kids. Like, no, zero rich kids. If we did, I'd put my arm around their parents and love on them. And so, but we don't have rich people. But what we do is it's like a West Texas football and West Texas school feel. What does the school need? Basically, what the community says is this. What does the school need? Well, then they can have that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's something that revolves around athletics or academics or just the upgrade of the facility for the schoolhouse or the upkeep of it. Our community has always voted yes for their kids. And our community puts kids first. Our school board member puts kids first.
Yes, he does.
And the proof is in how they bless us. And so, people make a lot about football in other states. I want to tell you something. When you look at the support that the Tioga community gives by their voting, what they're saying is we want the best, and we will have the best for our people. And you can't beat that. I don't care what state you go to.
Absolutely. It just bodes well, and again, it starts from, and I'll say this, and of course I'll say it. You're in front of me right now, but it goes because we win, because we have a stable program, and that comes in from you that came in. When you came in here, we hadn't made the playoffs in quite a few years. You come in here and you've never not made the playoffs during your run here, and again, if we're going 0-10 every year, or 0 this. It's going to be hard for the community to try to back it up, but you've put a winning program here. You've built something from the bottom. And like we talked about it earlier, it bodes well when you got former players coming back to coach. So that you're doing something right from coaching standpoint.
What most people don't realize is how football touches people's lives. It is not about, and honestly, we're all trying to win. We're going to try to win tomorrow night, right? But the winning is not the most important thing. In my mind, the most important thing is how football teaches young people how to deal with adversity, and it's something that we're not talking about a lot in society. Well, I've got a problem with this. Well, I need to see the doctor. Well, I got a problem with this. Well, I need medication. Well, I got a problem with this. I got to get, no, let me explain this to you. Football teaches you're going to have a problem. It's called the opponent.
Yeah.
It's called heat. It's called being tired. It's called being fussed at. And you're going to have to learn how to overcome that adversity. And when you can learn to overcome adversity in your life, like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. I struggled in college. I have a math degree. There was a couple of those classes I struggled in. But I was blessed with the upbringing that I had, both at home and in the football culture I was raised in, that the adversity doesn't mean that you quit. Adversity means you try harder. You don't put your head in the sand ever. And, that's what I want our young people to learn. I want them to learn a strong work ethic. I want them to learn how to deal with adversity, because when we can do that for the 95 young men in our football program, then we're putting 95 quality young people in society, young people that can overcome things, young people that can deal with problems, and young people that know what it's like to sweat and work. And you know what? And, yeah, some of it's learning how to fail. You're going to have to learn to deal with some failure, because I don't care who you are in football, you get your behind kicked sometimes.
Yes, sir.
As an individual, you may get your butt whipped. As a team, you may get your butt whipped. I've been on that side. It ain't a lot of fun. But now then you've got to pick it back up. Can you get knocked out on a play and get back up and fight again, or do you quit? And that's the culture that you've got to try to create in our young people today. Because that life isn't easy.
That's right.
And nobody's going to hand it to you. I tell them all the time, if you think that any team is going to come here, whether they're a top-rated team like Jena or maybe somebody who's rebuilding, they're not going to lay down. Like, they're not going to hand it to you. So this is not it's not a freebie.
Right.
And it's not welfare football. Like, you're going to go earn this football right here, buddy. You're going to earn this starting spot. You want to earn it, it's going to take blood, sweat, and tears. And it's going to take a struggle. You know, people always talk about the pain of losing. I want to tell you something. There's pain in winning.
Yeah.
They don't ever talk about that, though. There's a lot of pain in winning a football game. You know, and it was the pain of getting up in the morning and running and lifting weights when it's 112 degrees in the shade all summer long while your buddies slept in till, noon.
Yeah.
And it's the pain of taking care of your body. You know, it's the pain of weightlifting, the days you don't feel like it, So I just think that, football teaches our young men so many positive attributes about life. And I wish that every boy at school played football for that reason.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Now, that segment right there, that was not only head coach Kevin Cook. That was Pastor Cook.
I'm sorry about that.
I love it.
Sorry about that.
That's Pastor Cook. That final segment brought to you by Pastor Cook.
I'm sorry about that.
That's what you want coaching your young men. You know what I mean? You want – because, again, chances are you're going to have a handful of young guys that can go to the next level and then finally go into the NFL. That's awesome. But what you decide to teach them and to become better humans as opposed to just football players, because a lot of them are not going to go to that next level, which to me sets you apart from a lot of other coaches around here. You truly care about the human beings that they're turning into and that you are helping to create. Because some of these young men, this is their outlet. This is all they have.
It is.
And so they need a type of person to come over them and to help structure that life and to build them.
Well, a lot of our young people, they don't have the role models that they need. And even if they do, we all need more.
Yes, sir.
Like, I'm seeing some great parents here tonight with their players. And I think that's amazing, multiple great parents. But, it still takes a village.
Yes, sir.
And we're wanting to craft and create society's best men, not just an average man. I'm not into the average man program. I don't ever want to be average in anything that I do, and I don't want to help foster a culture where we're satisfying for average. I want to foster a culture where we're supreme.
Yes,
and what does that mean? What does it mean winning all the time? Well, no. I mean, that'd be awesome. But the reality is, like, every one of our parents is basically turned their child over to us and said, we embrace the help that you're bringing to us to foster a superior male being. It not necessarily from a physical standpoint, like his muscles are bigger, but his attitude is better, his work ethic's better, his responsibility's greater, and he understands community, he understands team. Because, everybody in here who's married has a team.
Yes, sir.
You have a wife, you have children, you have a team, and you're the leader of that team. And that's what we want to do. We want to, and I said this at the Rotary Club this year, we want to produce leaders so that if I lived long enough and I come back to the Rotary Club in 20 years, like some of the pillars of the community, are Indian football players. So that's what we're trying to do, and we just need your prayers out there that the Lord will help us to be able to do just that.
You were very close to getting an amen and a few, yes, sir, you go ahead from me.
I'm a choir away from taking up an offering right now.
Look,
you
I was
understand
waiting
what I'm
to pass
saying?
it
A choir
around.
away.
But we appreciate everybody watching here. So this coming up Friday night, 4-0 Tioga hosts 4-0 Jena. Battle of the Unbeatens here. Your KOB TV Game of the Week here will be Friday night at the Reservation. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Show up and show out. Make sure you come support. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff going on before the game, so get there a little early. Enjoy. I know they had a bunch of churches coming out there doing all kind of
but
little
the stuff going on before the game is going to be amazing. If you got somebody in your house that's small,
yes,
elementary school age, or maybe not, you just want to come out, there's going to be a ton of fun stuff going on, bouncers and candy and food and games of all kinds. They've already told us we got to move all of our parking down 150 yards.
Wow.
Because that's how many community events are going to be taking place out there. So it's going to be like going to the fair with a football game.
Yeah.
In the middle of it. So it's going to be awesome.
Well, I want everybody get in the community. Please show up here and show out. I'd love to see the kind of numbers that we had when we played Neville a few years ago when we were going undefeated. Just pack the house. It should be a great, great night of football. And we want to say thank you to Quebedeaux for hosting here this Reservation Roundup every Thursday night. Next week, it will not be Thursday night. We're going to play next Thursday night at Pine Prairie. Yeah. So we'll get with you quick. I think it's probably going to be Tuesday night. We'll figure it out, but nothing tentative yet. But we will have the coaches show here and kind of talk a little bit about Pine Prairie next week. But it's Jena week, and it's a fun week for everybody. So show up. I am Billy French, alongside Coach Kevin Cook here, your head coach for your Tioga Indians. Man behind the scenes, we can't do anything without Chuck Perkins, our producer.
Right. Love Chuck.
Thank you so much. You keep everything running smooth and everything. Go ahead, Chuck.
Always my pleasure. I'm telling you what.
Yeah, he does. I'm telling you, he makes us look good. I have a face for radio, and he puts me on the TV now, and people got to look at my ugly mug. But we appreciate Chuck for everything that he does. So from Quebedeaux here on a Thursday night, thank everyone for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow night at the reservation. God bless.